Hello everyone, welcome to the PyCharm FastAPI tutorial series. We have successfully completed the user module. Let's now move to products, where we're going to do the same kind of operations, creating models, APIs, schema, etc. First, I'm going to create the model. Let me do the necessary imports. I'm going to create a category model which inherits from base. Every product comes under a category. I will define two columns, ID and name. Next, I'm going to create a product model. The columns which I will be defining will be ID, name of the product, quantity, basically referring to items in stock, description, about the product, and price. I'll do an import. From SQLAlchemy.orm, import relationship. I will create a relationship between category and product. As you know, every product comes under a category. I will define relationships for products. The back under populates argument tells SQL Alchemy which column to link with when it joins the two tables. In product model, I will be defining category under ID, which is a foreign key referencing to category.id. Basically, a foreign key is a set of attributes in a table that refers to the primary key of another table. We are done with the model part. Just to give an example, a category can have multiple products. Like you can take electronics as a category under which multiple products like televisions, laptops, mobile phones will fall under that. I need to register this model in Alembic and then generate the schema. I will type alembic revision --autogenerate to generate the schema file. To migrate, I'm going to type alembic upgrade head. Let me check in Database Explorer whether the new tables are reflecting or not. Yes, we got the two new tables, product and category. It's clearly visible that you can see the foreign key relationships attached with the category. Let's begin by creating the router, schema, and services as usual, what we did previously for the user module. The same approach, we're going to follow that. I'm going to do the necessary imports. We need to initialize the API router, and I will provide the tag name as products and prefix will be /products. Let's begin by creating our API for category model. But before that, we need to define the Pydantic schema. I will quickly move to the schema.py file. I will do the necessary imports like base model and const from Pydantic. Const, C-O-N-S-T-R, comes under constrained types. It's possible to define primitive types that have more constraints on their values. I'll show the use case in a bit. I'm going to create a category schema which inherits from base model. We need to accept names whose minimum length needs to be 2 characters to a max length up to 50 characters. To know more about the field types, visit the Pydantic documentation. Let's begin with our Create Category API. The Create Under Category function accepts 2 parameters, request and database. Whatever is coming in the request, Pydantic is going to take care of it. After getting the information, we will be committing this information into the database. I will create a new function, create under new under category, where I'll be writing the business logic. I'll do the necessary imports. Once the data is stored in the database, we'll be returning the category object to the user. We'll be adding the new category to the database session and finally committing it. We'll also do database.refresh, which basically means to expire and then immediately get the latest data for the object from the database. It involves an immediate database query, which you may consider expensive. We are done with the service. Let's now register the route. It's going to be a post method with status code 201. Now we're going to include the router in main.py. If you don't do that, the product routes are not going to show up. Great, product routes are showing up in the Swagger UI. Let me try it out. Yes, our category was successfully created with an ID of 1. I will create one more with the name electronics. Let's move back and complete the remaining APIs for our category module. Now I'm going to define and return all categories present in the database. I will register the route, which is a GET request, and the response model will be returning a list of categories. I have registered the route. Let's check in Swagger. As you can see, the two categories are there. Electronics and mobile phones are clearly visible. It's returning a list. Now let's create our third API to retrieve category by ID. The get under category under by under ID will return a category object from the database. It can be optional as well, but I'm leaving it up to you. Okay, we're done. Let me check the router. Yes, it's perfectly fine. I'll try to reload the docs again. And yes, we are getting a category by ID. Let me give the category ID 1, and we should get mobile phones. All the scenarios are working fine. Let's move on with our last API for category, that is to delete the category by ID. We'll be deleting the object from the database. The function won't return anything. You can define the type annotation as none, meaning it's not required. I'm leaving it up to you, whatever feels good. Better to follow the type annotation. We are done. Let's test the delete API for category. I want to delete the category electronics, whose ID is basically 2. As you can see, there's no response. The status returned is 204. I will re-verify by checking the category by ID API. Yes, the data does not exist. As you can see, only the mobile phone category is present. Our electronics category has been successfully deleted. We are completely done with the category. Now we will be writing APIs for our products, same kind of operations that we did earlier. If you want to break this router, then you can go forward with that. One for products and the second one for categories separately. Completely up to you how you feel comfortable. Let's begin by creating our product API, but before that, we need to create the Pydantic schema. I will create a product base class, which will be reused later. ID is going to be int, but optional. Name will be a string, quantity will be an integer, description will be a string, and the price will be a float. I'll create one more class of product, which is going to inherit product base, in which I will have category ID as an integer. Coming back to the router, I will resume working on the create under product function. Coming back to the router, I will resume working on the create under product function. It's going to be a post method, and it will return a 201 status code. Before inserting the product in the database, we're going to need to make sure whether the specific category exists in the database or not. So we're going to write a small validation for it. I'm going to write a validator verify under category under exists, which will return for the category object or none if not present. It will raise an exception if there's no category present, otherwise we will create our new product. Let's go to Services and write our business logic where we will be inserting a new product into our database. back to the Swagger UI and verify it's over there. I'm going to try out an invalid category ID and check what happens. Yes, the validation is working fine. ID is optional. Let me now give proper information for name, quantity, description, and price. You can see our new product, Apple iPhone 13, has been successfully created. There are currently 20 items in stock and the price is $1,600. I'll create one more product and name it iPhone 12 with less quantity and price. Great, 2 products have been successfully created. Next, I will be creating an API for listing the products which are present in our database. I won't be creating more APIs like get or delete product by ID. I'm completely leaving it up to you. If you are interested, you can go ahead and create those functionalities based upon your own use cases. I hope by now you have gotten a basic understanding of how easy it is to develop an API when working with FastAPI. So now I'm going to create a Pydantic schema for product listing. It will be a combination of products and categories. I will create a product listing class which inherits from product base. Category information will be coming from list category class. Response model is going to return a schema product listing. Okay, get all products functionality is complete. Let me check what response we are getting in Swagger. As you can observe the response, we're getting the product information along with category information from our Pydantic class. So how smoothly the nested bottling has been done over there. I hope by now that you've gotten the understanding about how we're creating APIs, Pydantic, validation, etc. In the next video, we'll be focusing on orders and cart modules, where I'll be focusing on placing a new order and getting email notification once the order has been successfully placed. Stay tuned, I'll see you in the next video.